doesn't matter. Nothing matters. We're just gonna get into it. Oh, hi. My name is Jo. Welcome to Sewing Nerd Studios. We have a lot to get through this week. So much so that I am actually starting this ahead of the week. It is Friday, the 19th of January, and I have so much to get done by next Friday. Today, I'm focusing on a Ramona Flowers bag, because back in the day, here's a link to the video, I made like my third version of this bag. It's actually been like 4 years since I did that somehow. I'm so proud of that tutorial. Really in depth. Like, I had to watch it back before starting this to make sure I knew what I was doing. I was like, oh yeah, good point past me. So the only thing I'm changing is how I'm attaching the zipper and also adding sewable foam instead of just fusible fleece. So I don't feel like that warrants its whole own video. I have a Howl's Moving Castle cardigan I gotta make. I haven't even quilted any of the pieces together to like start, so we're going like from scratch. I might make a second one while I'm doing it just because it's quicker to do some batch sewing. Then I am also doing custom seat covers, or at least one custom like cushion cover for somebody. They thankfully purchased all the fabric, they got the zipper, they got the foam for it, so I'm just doing the labor. And the stress relief that has caused having them pick everything out, because that also adds to the cost when I'm charging someone. It's like, I gotta charge for materials, but if they're getting all the materials, they're seeing how much that adds up to, which I don't think most people like think about much. And then I can keep the cost of labor separate. So I'm very much looking forward to making that, actually. Did I just catch myself saying that? So those are the three big things. I do have a secret project I'm starting in on that I will probably spend some time sketching. It will involve me re-listening to the Adventure Zone Amnesty, I believe, which is not a bad way to spend my time. I did finally start watching the Scott Pilgrim anime, kind of like get my head in the headspace for the Ramona Flowers bag, and I am planning to take finished photos of this one so I can put it up in my Etsy shop. I also have a bunch of stuff, new sling bags and stuff that I need photos of that we'll need to do in the upcoming week. I am cat sitting for somebody. It's a lot. And that's why I figured like, hey, I feel like I didn't do that much in the last studio vlog, even though I did finally show you me breaking down my setup at least. That event was crap and I was feeling pretty down this past week. But listen, we got a lot on our plate. This is all self-generated work. That feels very good to be this busy. Pressure is on to like get this stuff done, and I work well under pressure. So it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock. Yeah, it is 12:51. And apparently my mom got me some Thin Mints. So thank you, Mom. You are the best. I feel like there's something else I'm missing. Oh, I have an eye exam Tuesday morning. I don't know that I need to bring you along for that, but we may end up ordering new glasses. I feel like these have become kind of like a piece of me, so I may just reorder the same pair just with a new prescription. Oh, also, remember to drink water and like feed yourself, because I have not done that today. Is there a term for being bad at taking care of plants, but the plant is actually you? Okay, it's Saturday morning. I'm like about to head out the door, but I did finish the bag last night. Not to toot my own horn, but I think this is literally my best work. The foam, like, look at what it does. It makes it look cartoony. And she requested a white strap, so I got this on here. I love it so much. I'm gonna do a little tidying, like make sure I got all of the loose threads, and there is a pocket inside. And for once I finally put one of my tags in it. Are you proud of me? I just want it to look nice, and I don't want to have it fall short on such little details that are easy adjustments. I finished that, yeah, at like 5:30 last night, and then I went to head to my friend's house to go take care of their cat, and then thankfully they texted me on my way over, hey, we didn't leave yet. But I almost stopped at their house first and then ran an errand, but thankfully I ran the errand first and then saw that they texted me when I pulled in the parking lot there and was like, oh, I mean, I was over this way anyway, so like no issue. But they are officially on the road, so I will be checking on their kitties this evening, and then I think just through Monday morning. I don't know if because their trip departure was delayed, their arrival time back here is delayed. That errand involved getting a couple like bulk toiletries, but also I got some remnants for literal pennies, a waterproof canvas that'll be really good for the bottom of bags, and I also got some in red. I need like a nice lightweight red fabric for the lining on my Howl's Moving Castle cardigans, because I have all the other material, but the thing I haven't been able to find for a while is a good lining fabric. I have fabrics that are light-ish, they're kind of medium weight, which is is bulkier than I would like, considering I'm already quilting fleece together and those seams are really bulky, and adding a lining to that, I need to be able to sew through these things, right? They also weren't the right shade of red. It's good as like an emergency backup if I have nothing else. I want it to like really pop like Hal's jacket. I managed to find not only a super lightweight fabric, it's like a warm tone, bright ass red, and that is precisely what I was hoping for. This is like, if I could write down a dream type of fabric to use, it would be this. Obviously, just like if I could find it secondhand, that'd be great. But this, I think it was like $4 for 2 yards? 1 yard? 1 yard. 2 yards. I don't know how to count. I think this is 2 yards, which is excellent because I already had a Hal's Moving Castle cardigan that was next on my list of stuff to do, and it's for extra large. And last night is like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got an order from someone for another Hal's Moving Castle cardigan and an extra large. So I'd already mentioned, oh, maybe I'll make a second one just to have. Now I will be making 2 anyway. Because that's what happened last time I made more than one. I had made a specific size as I was packing up the original one that I made. Someone ordered one in the exact same size I had made the spare. So I didn't have it for my own inventory. I do want to have that because it's such a good like show piece at events, and especially because I applied for a like mini pop culture anime convention at Mill Number 5 they're doing in March. Then the other thing I somehow ran out of is just black fleece. Is really good for using as like a color blocking chunk. Because I'm me, of course this is what happened. I was like, hey, I'm gonna splurge. And the lotion I use, it's the only lotion that doesn't make my skin feel like it's on fire after I take a shower. Like painfully itchy after a shower. And this is the only thing that like mostly calms that down. But I use Shea Moisture is the brand, and I do like the raw shea butter with frankincense and myrrh because I'm a holy bitch. And listen, this is not for my hair texture, but it smells really good, and I don't think it'll cause any harm to it, especially just for the winter. It's a deep moisturizing shampoo. And you may be wondering, why is the lid off and why is a bunch of it gone if you just bought it yesterday? I accidentally Hulk smashed this to the ground and didn't think to check it afterwards. I got this and a conditioner, and it broke. The cap broke. It's my fault. It is not like bad quality product cap or anything. Like I said, I Hulk smashed it into the ground on accident, obviously. It did dump out all into the bag. So this is as much as I was able to salvage. Probably half of what's in here I literally scooped out with a plastic spoon from the bag it broke into, and then the bag had a hole in it because of course it did, and that leaked all over the floor, so some of it was lost. But at least it's shampoo, which is like hair soap, so I think that was better for like, oh, that part of the floor is really clean now. I would have shown you, but as you can see, this is like a thick white liquid, and I would have been flagged for something, so not happening. I was very confused when I first stepped out of my bedroom and like saw the bag on the floor. It was like, gross, what happened? Because in that interim between me putting the bag down, breaking that, and then going into my room, I watched the entirety of the Scott Pilgrim anime, which is like 4 hours a time probably. It's very good, in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot. I really didn't know what to expect. I went in blind. I'd only watched a couple minutes of the first episode, which follows along the first book, like, to a T in the best way, where, like, most anime is based off of a manga, and it's just, like, an animated version of that story, right? Like, you even use the pictures in the comic as like the storyboard for the animation type thing. I was not / would not have been disappointed if that was the case. But the movie, the live action movie with Michael Cera, also it's all those actors doing the voices of the anime characters. So good. They got everybody. They had a couple extras thrown in there too, which was really fun. Like Will Forte pops in, and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have like a little voice cameo. Anyways, the movie follows the book really well. There's like one of the evil exes that isn't like exactly true to the book, but the change is not so egregious that you're like, what do you mean? Like it's fine. It still serves the story. And the way the fight happens is really cool visually. So I loved that little tweak, but this is like a whole new story. Somebody told me it's like Brian Lee O'Malley, the creator of Scott Pilgrim, finally went to therapy and then wrote a new story, which made me laugh a lot. So, yeah, Knives and Wallace remain to be the best characters for me. I love them so much. I also imagine it's because of that anime that people are interested in this again, because I got messaged by someone specifically asking to make this. I am so proud of this. So I definitely want to have like proper documentation. And then I just got to calculate how much to charge the person, because I don't want to price gouge them. It wasn't only a lot of hours, but it was like really complicated. So, and the material cost alone, foam and zippers and like the hardware on it. So I do need to like sit down and break down the math and give the person a total. So yeah. Anyways, I have to go to the grocery store. It is in the single digits. My eyes are very dry, if that isn't obvious. I am bundled up. Yes, I'm wearing the same hoodie as yesterday, but I did change. Not that I have to justify my choices to you. I almost took a sip of the shampoo, so I need to move that out of the way. I grab my headphones. Yeah, it is single digits, but it says it feels like 0 outside with wind chill, and it's only gonna get colder as the day goes. So, oh, New England. Dun 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 day. Oh, New England. Okay, hi. Happy Sunday. I'm taking care of 3 kitties and got to have breakfast with them this morning, dinner with them tonight, and I'll do breakfast again tomorrow. And then I think that's the end of the visit, but I'll confirm with the owners tomorrow. I just got back from a meeting with some other small businesses. We just met over coffee and talked about markets that we have done and were good for us, markets that we're not sure about, and markets like if there's something sketchy behind the scenes, getting to talk about that openly. It was really lovely, actually. I'm very glad that I was invited to do it. We've kind of been in the trenches together, and there is this nice sense of camaraderie. We're building our own little network, our little community. It felt really nice. And I also got to contribute from what like my experiences are. It was good. I'm glad I went. I was close to talking myself out of it yesterday and today, but glad I did the thing. Oh, I haven't shown you the material someone dropped off for the custom window cushion. I haven't actually taken a proper look at this yet. So, a nice long zipper, and I had them purchase all the materials. And I'm very glad I did, because they saw how much material was needed and how expensive that becomes. They got a lot of yardage of this nice gray canvas. I think this will work out quite well. I also ordered the foam for it. Okay. Oh my god, it was like when you bang the counter with a tube of crescent rolls. Hi, it's not morning. I am so extremely tired today. We thought today's Monday, by the way, right? Yes. When my partner got up this morning, he heard like a really angry noise. I mean, I know if something happens with the pipes, you need to shut the main water off. But outside of that, like, water scares me in a irreparable damage kind of way. Like you were always going to lose a fight against water. But he thought the pipes had frozen, which leads to the ice expanding and bursting the pipes. And then you have a nightmare scenario, especially because it happens because it's cold. So dealing with freezing cold water everywhere, like, no thank you. Thankfully, somehow, knock on whatever this is made out of, it was only like a bit of ice, like a little bit of ice had formed in one of the pipes. That's just to show how absolutely miserably cold it is. It was the kind of cold, first thing this morning, any moisture in your nose freezes. It is so uncomfortable. And like, you try to squint your eyes as much as you can so that the moisture there also is not exposed to the elements, but like, you need to see. It's certainly a choice to live here. But hey, this morning could have been a lot worse. I was just up from 3:30 this morning until 1:30 right now. I did take a little nap with Bert after I was back home from checking on the kitties, and he certainly wasn't going to turn down a little warm snuggle nap. He's such a cute little old man, but he's definitely getting old. His eyesight is so bad, and granted, he bashed into stuff all the time before anyway. Like, his spatial awareness was not his strongest skill set, where not that I want to talk. The apple does not fall far from the tree. I am constantly like, where'd that bruise come from? But he is very low to the ground, so I feel like he just ends up bashing his face into everything. But anyway, I'm about to throw fleece and this red lining fabric into the wash with some of my other stuff. Because listen, I wear a lot of dark clothes, so I'm not worried about it. And if this is gonna run, I shouldn't be using it anyway. I do sometimes test it, like, let me spritz some water on here. It wasn't like rubbing off on my hands, which is a good indication, but I want to wash it just in case there's any shrinkage. If there is going to be any like color dispersal to get it over with. Here's the trick. I have never had an issue. Is that true? I've almost never had an issue with colors bleeding because I wash my clothes on cold and then put it in the dryer. So I don't even deal with much in the way of shrinking. The only thing I've had issues with as far as shrinking goes is a canvas tote bag that was gifted to me. I had washed it and put it through the dryer, and it is a smaller tote bag now. It's fine. All of it shrank proportionally. And the only exception for any bit of color runnage is there is an ever so slight color running that has happened over the years now since I made that t-shirt quilt. It gets used all the time and washed, and it's all black, white, and red t-shirts on there, and then the back is, I think, just some random red fabric I had a lot of yardage of. Ran ever so slightly into the white shirts. I don't even think all the white shirts. I think there's like one that has taken on some of the color where the rest just like washes out, but that one is like, give it to me. Give me all of it. So it's a little tinged pink. In the grand scheme of things, if that's the only thing I've had an issue with, I'm doing fine. So yeah, this isn't doing any like extreme transferring, so I'm not worried about it. So I will be tossing this in with my regular laundry just to not waste a whole cycle. And I have a couple things to wash anyway, so I'm gonna put that through. Oh, I never showed you. I very impulsively made a dress the other night. I had had some spiked hot chocolate and I was feeling sassy. I put together this dress. I need to make some tweaks. I want to shorten the bottom in general. I don't think I want bottom hem actually hemmed. I think I'm just going to leave it raw. I did the thing again. It's like too heavy for this pattern. There's like a lot of weight to this because there's 2 full layers on the front of this dress. Here are some pictures / perhaps a video of me wearing it. It's super comfortable. I like it, but it's so heavy when you get towards the bottom that it's like pulling the top down, and it's already a very open concept dress, shall we say. It's the Nia dress by Petite Stitchery Co. I loved it last time I made the pattern, but I just didn't like the fabric I did it in, and I feel like the same issue has arisen. There's some tweaks I can make to help it out. Definitely want to shorten it, and then this swoopy bit in the front, I want to just like take a lot of that up, and I need to re-cinch the side here. I should have squanched it all down, and I feel like that's the adjustment I made last time. I should have watched that video back like I did with the Ramona Flowers bag, because I'm sure I made that note in the video. I feel like I remember doing that, because the gathering stitches start a little ways down and then go, but I want to start right from the top and bring the whole thing down. I wonder how much this weighs. I do have a scale that I could probably check that with, but anyway, speaking of my scale, I need to break it out. I'm ready to pack my Ramona Flowers bag. The person was totally fine with the price I quoted, and for transparency's sake, that took me 5+ hours, and it was $25 in materials because there's a lot of hardware. The webbing is expensive. It's weirdly expensive for what it is. Something I have been yelled at a bunch from more business savvy friends is just because I get materials with like a coupon code or a discount, that's not always going to be there. So I need to base my prices off of the standard cost of the thing and then however much of it I use. Like obviously I'm not charging for the 3 yards of blue canvas I got when I'm just using a couple circles of it. So I try to divvy it up, not to the penny or anything, but just like a ballpark number as far as how much of that material I used. That way I don't have to raise prices later. No one's caught off guard by that. It's a reasonable thing once someone explained it to me, but I was like, I couldn't possibly. If I'm paying less, they need to pay less. Just like, if you are using a coupon, no. Or whatever other discount, because that's not always going to be there. Here's the thing, right? It's very highly skilled. Like that is the most high skilled thing I make. And I do want to make more. I want to make like a more basic mini version. I want to see how long it takes me to do that without the pocket on the inside. Plus that's one less zipper that goes into the cost of it. And I probably wouldn't do removable clasps. I would just attach the strap directly to the D-ring. Maybe have an adjustable tri-bar thing on it, but not have the like removable clips like I have on the bag I just finished, because I really like that option. Anyway, I charged $120 including shipping. I had debated doing 125 because they said their budget don't want to spend more than 150 on this. And that's a completely reasonable parameter. Like, honestly, that's more than I was expecting them to say. I was able to take my time without screwing myself over. I used to only ever charge $10 or $15 per hour of work I put into something, but a lot of friends have driven home the fact that this isn't entry-level labor I'm putting into this. Having pants is one thing. Also, I can do dozens of pairs of pants in the course of an hour because I've just done it so many times. Depends on the type of pant, I suppose, but just like standard, say it's a pile of jeans. I can do dozens of pairs in an hour. And it's not like super thinky work. We're doing this bag, and I don't know why I'm justifying it to y'all, but that feels like a big number. Like, I couldn't justify spending $120 on a purse for myself. So I definitely have a skewed view of what I think something is worth. That's my 4th iteration of that bag. That's a lot of time and practice skills that I have built. The troubleshooting and just the idea of it all. Like, it's because of my experiences working at a costume shop for a year that I can handle the foam, inserting the zippers, all of that stuff. I charged $120 because I don't know if I often say the cost of things on here. I figure we're on this journey together, so why not share? The Howl's Moving Castle cardigans, I have the 2 to make. I cover the shipping, which shipping for a big thing like that, especially because it's heavier and it's bulkier, is closer to $10, where I think the bag will be closer to $5. I think. I'll let you know. My guess is like something under $6. Maybe it's gonna be like $5.16 to send it. I don't remember what part of the country it's going to, but it's somewhere domestic. I had all of that material on hand. Like, it's money I have already spent years ago. I didn't have to eat any cost up front to make that, which was really nice. That's why I make those bigger investments and get like a bunch of that fabric. Like the Howl's Moving Castle cardigans, I already have the material other than this red fabric I bought, which I think was like $4 for the yardage I got, and that'll cover me for 4 to 6 cardigans and fine by, so like $1 each. I charge, I think it's like $94.25 on Etsy, where in person I charge $95. Round numbers I find do better. Like, I'm not gonna carry a bunch of quarters around with me at an in-person event, and I find like increments of 5 or just even numbers seem to be easier. Like, I prefer that for my brain, so I can add everything really easily. Yes, Etsy takes a chunk. It's probably like $10, maybe a little shy of $10. Actually, I can confirm the number for you and the shipping, right? But then if I do something in person, I have to pay to be there and I have to travel to there. So I feel keeping my prices the same across the board because there are fees for both formats of selling my stuff. Sometimes things are cheaper in person, especially like you can get deals that way where if I have dumpling pouches, they're $12 each or 2 for $20. Like, that encourages people to buy a second one. I honestly don't know how to set that kind of thing up on my Etsy. That's one upside of coming to see me in person. I don't know if any of this was interesting, but I feel like we talk about pricing things. Oh, also, I have mathed out that the sling bags I make, with the time they take, 3 hours each, at least when I was first making them. And someone made a very good point, which was you shouldn't be charging yourself less because you're better at doing the thing. I make them better and more efficiently, which means I should be paying myself more per hour. So say I do it in 2 hours plus the cost of materials versus doing it slower but charging less for my hourly rate, where the initial cost analysis I did $45 for 3 hours of work plus $10 for materials, because it ends up being a lot of yardage of fabric for those bags because there's something like 22 pieces per bag, where it doesn't look like that when you're assessing it, but there's 4 pockets and each of those get 2 pieces. There's interfacing involved. There's vinyl, which is not cheap. The main panels are usually like really nice, probably more expensive fabrics. Taking all of that into account, then thinking about this Ramona Flowers bag, materials were probably about as much for the fabric and the piping, but plus hardware, almost twice as long, and that is so much trickier. Like, I couldn't even listen to a podcast because I had my brain like so entrenched in how to tackle each thing. It's a very difficult bag to make, and maybe just for me. Anytime you're attaching a round thing to a flat thing, it's tricksy. So having that bag cost about twice the sling bags makes sense, because I can probably knock out 2 sling bags in the time it takes me to do one of those Ramona Flowers bags. So That's how I come up with the cost of my items. Where I definitely don't compare my stuff to the cheapest possible option on Etsy, because that is not, that's a rat race to the bottom. That is not the move. And you're just undercutting yourself and other people when you're doing that. I remember being upset being next to that person at the market I did the other day because her prices were so far below. They were beautiful, beautiful bags and like gorgeous printed vinyl and everything, like really nice material, really nice hardware, beautifully made. And she's charging like $30 for like a full-on purse with interior pockets and like purse feet on the bottom. Like, I genuinely think that's barely covering cost of materials for what she was using. That is not easy stuff to sew together. And also, you know, who am I to talk, because I used to way undercharge for my stuff. Seeing somebody else do it, now I understand why all my friends were upset with me. You almost have that thought like, well, what's wrong with it? This woman is a full-on tailor and like super sweet. I was upset that we had assigned spots and we were right next to each other and we were the only bag makers in the whole room. That is frustrating, but also it was nice being right next to the other person that sews. We had really lovely conversations. I appreciate like getting to pick her brain a little bit, and she said she got a lot out of conversing with me as well, which I appreciated. She's probably in her like late 60s, early 70s. So she certainly has much more experience than me, and she's a proper tailor, which my therapist was like, I don't know if there's like a certificate you need to call yourself that. I'm not in the sewing world, so I don't know. But judging by a lot of the stuff that you do and the things that you have made, I don't see how you can't, like, are you sure you're not? I wouldn't feel comfortable giving myself that title because like I can't make a suit from scratch. I can't make a bespoke suit without a pattern for somebody, you know? And I know that's a very specific type of tailor, but I think of like Savile Row in London, where you have to work for years. Like, there are people that their whole career is just cutting out the pieces of fabric because it is that precise of a skill. But I do tailor clothes to myself and to other people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that like offends other people if I were to say, I'm a tailor. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so uncomfortable with it. Part of that conversation was, and why I hesitated to say I can't make a suit from scratch, is because I have made really beautiful coats from scratch. Hopefully editing me has been showing you photos of some of the stuff I'm referring to. And to be real, I hadn't looked at those in a long time because those were done at the costume shop. And I made like greatcoats and colonial jackets and worked on really specialty costumes, used the sewable foam with like these gorgeous brocades and everything, and made wildly shaped wearable things, sized them to people's measurements. That's why I feel so comfortable doing alterations in person and everything, and taking on more projects for people and doing custom orders. Certainly had a lot of baggage coming away from that job, and I hadn't been able to look at those photos in a long time. So that felt really good. I felt like a big chunk of me healed in therapy last week, showing her those photos. She was losing her mind. Made me feel good, and I accepted the compliments. That was also a huge deal for me, because normally my instinct is like, well, I only took photos of stuff I made from start to finish just so I can like take the credit for them. But that meant I had to let myself take the credit for them during this conversation, and it was so helpful. I'm not like cringing looking at those photos by any means. It's beautiful stuff. Got to appreciate it looking through them this time. So that was really nice. And I'm not trying to overhype myself. It was nice. I feel like I closed another painful chapter. The wound isn't open anymore. I haven't cried currently talking about it, where often I would explode into tears. The hardest I ever cried in therapy was talking about losing that job. It broke me. I mean, that also happened like 3 months after my dad died. So like, 2018 was not like my best year, but I have grown a lot since then, all for the good. And, you know, I was in a deep, dark place for a long chunk of time there, but I've put so much work into fixing myself. And now I get to help people have cool cosplay bags and cardigans and make them custom seat cushions. That's pretty cool. I feel like I am more confident in my skill set that I can like serve other people better and myself. Like this dress I was talking about, I finally took time to make another one, and they're really easy tweaks, and I'm keeping it in my way so that I won't just like throw it in a corner and not touch it for 2 years. I want to fix it so that I can wear it because it's comfy and I like stripy things. I think I'm just going to listen to a podcast, zone out, and do that like really mindless sewing strips of fabric together and then cutting them apart and then sewing those strips of fabric together in a different direction. I think that will be good for how tired I am. I'm not fully with it. I don't think I could handle more. Like, I would not let myself make another Ramona Flowers bag today because I'm on fumes. But I'm going to start some laundry, pack the Etsy order, send that person the tracking, and then start cutting up some fleece. Cutting up a rug. Okay, bye. Okay, hi. It is Tuesday. Missed the mail carrier yesterday, so I dropped the Ramona bag off at the post office this morning. I also left at like 6:30 this morning because of the primary, and I just wanted to get it over with. There was a write-in campaign for people to put ceasefire, and because it's an organized effort, those are going to be tallied. Obviously, there's not like a person to elect with it, but having it rank somewhere on the poll results coming in, I felt like that was the best use of my vote. I also had an eye doctor appointment. Don't need a new prescription, which is amazing. I did get scolded because much like when I go to the dentist and I haven't been flossing as much as I should, I am also supposed to put eye drops in every day. And I don't. I really should. Anyways, I spent a good chunk of time cutting up strips of fleece last night. I cut up the entire amount of blue fleece that I had, which I think was like 4 yards or something. And I had about 8 yards of this pink fleece, and I cut out equal amounts of each color. I may give myself the afternoon off. It's been a lot, but it's 12:30. Yeah, I've been go for 6 hours, and it's not even lunchtime yet, so I sleepy. Okay, hi. I have been toying with camera settings, so watching this back will hopefully be helpful. This is a portrait mode. It's supposed to blur the background a little bit, but it's hard to tell on the viewfinder, so I guess we'll see if there's a difference. My skin tone looks more human and not fluorescent yellow. Has been in the other clips. Oh, I am really not with it this week, and I'm just trying to meet myself where I'm at, and I don't think I'll be able to get through everything I want to get through, but I can still work towards it, and it's okay if I don't get everything done. That doesn't mean I'm like a giant failure, and that is hard for me to like accept, even though it is true. So I have one very big striped section. I cut out enough to make 4 of these. So I will have 4 blankets comprised of 16 stripes, so 8 of each color. So I cut out 64 strips. And I'm trying to do all of them, which is probably a bad idea, because I can just go ahead with this one and probably get the panels I need for the 2 custom orders I have outstanding right now. But I don't want to like just have these piles of strips hanging around and not revisit it for a while. I want them to be done and ready to go so that next time I get orders, they will be prepped, and that's less work I'll have to do down the road. I'm going to be very busy like all of February with markets and more pressed for time for stuff. So doing this now when I have more breathing room seems appropriate, and also like I don't have to think very hard to sew strips together. Not gonna force myself to get all of it done today. It's Wednesday. Did I say it's Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? I don't know if it's just I haven't been sleeping well or the weather. I've been doing a bunch of snow cleanup and bringing in firewood, so it's not like I haven't been moving around, but probably could do more of that, I suppose. Probably help my noodle. Anyways, a couple other things that happened yesterday. I finished my cat sitting that I was doing, even though I'll be doing it again in like a week and a half. Because when I have a 2 market weekend, I'm also cat sitting 4 different cats between 2 households. And one of them, I need to be there for like 2 or 3 hours in the morning and then 4 or 5 hours at night. So that's going to be a big chunk of my day. So I'm actually hoping to just have dedicated like editing time and work on my laptop and like build a trivia game that I'm going to work on. And obviously like I'm there to
entertain the cat. Like, that's what I'm getting hired to do. So I'll be doing that, but I'm sure there will also just be downtime. So I'm trying to plan that type of work, like sitting down computer work for that duration. Where I suppose I can do this video, which is going out the day before my markets, filming the 2 markets over the course of the weekend. That would probably also be a helpful video that I can film like separately. I am actively trying to actually film at the markets and kind of give updates throughout, because I certainly find that to be very interesting in other people's videos. So my hope is like you are also finding that interesting, because every market is different. And even though 3 of the 4 I have booked for February are all at the same location, it's a different theme. It changes every week. Like, the weather is such a factor. The theme is such a factor. Anyways, speaking of videos, there is this website called vidIQ, VIDIQ, super not sponsored. I don't even have the paid version of it. Most of it is free. It will suggest using like your channel's specific analytics and then just like general algorithm information. They use that to help generate custom titles and video idea suggestions. It's been a little glitchy the past couple days, and this is the weirdest it's gotten. And these suggestions have just been there for a few days, because the top ones are like, yeah, those make sense. But why only fools and horses, Gary? Turkeys are my mortal enemy. So I was a little offended and extra confused by turkey fossils and carvings. What? And then just upsell. Just one word. What? I don't know what's going on with that website, but the other suggestions have been helpful. Anyway, we got a bunch of surprise snow today, so I was out shoveling and using the snowblower attachment on the tractor, which thank goodness for that thing. But it's like super heavy, wet snow because it's supposed to rain today, so it's on the warmer side. So the snow has more moisture in it, thus being heavier. And if you pack it down, it like kind of becomes like a block. Like, it's good for building snowmen and little snow sculptures or whatever, but that's not what I spent my time doing. I just was trying to get it out of the way, and I had to spend a good chunk of time just like cleaning the snowblower off afterwards, because everything was stuck in the chute and in all the gears and everything. And that's probably the most annoying part when the snow was like this. It probably took as long to clean that out as it did to go over the driveway and the other section of the property that I did. I feel like there's one other thing I was gonna mention. Oh, this morning I finally tried the Instagram, like, tagging a product, because it initiates a conversation between you and a customer. I didn't know if Instagram had its own like payment platform and was gonna like take percentage like Etsy does or anything like that, but I think it's just facilitating the communication between you and a customer, because it said, basically, I think if I'm understanding this right, I did a test run between like my business page and my personal page. So I didn't like follow through the entire thing, but I got most of the way through and then just canceled the order. Do I just follow it through like through Square? Thankfully, sales tax is not a thing I have to deal with here. Just as far as like documenting that income, obviously I need to make note of it, but if anybody has experience selling via Instagram, let me know, because it's not like there's a storefront. It's just like, hey, send your payment information and your address to this person via a DM is what I am interpreting this as. Let me know if that is incorrect, because I've never bought from somebody else through Instagram like this. I don't know if this was the most boring thing you've ever heard. It's just frustrating and exhausting having to deal with that side of running a business that has an online presence. Even to just get people to my in-person presence, it's a lot of effort on there, and I'm tired. There are worse things. There are worse ways to spend my time, and I get to work for myself. It's okay. I get to spend my afternoon now kind of mindlessly stitching a bunch of strips of fabric together. Won't be a terrible way to spend my afternoon, because I'm also going to watch the new season of Queer Eye, because that show heals my heart, and I think it needs a little bit of TLC this week. I am all over the place, if that's not obvious, so I'm just going to let myself zone out. I am super dehydrated, so I'm going to refill my water, maybe finish the little bit of coffee I have, and then make some like herbal tea and just let myself relax and be cozy for the afternoon. It's okay to not like be in hustle mode. I can still work towards things I want to accomplish without pushing myself to any extreme. It can be calm and quiet and slow. We've got this. It's gonna be great. I mean this in the kindest way possible. Fuck this show. I've watched 7 seasons. Why did I think I could just like casually do it while I was working today? I'm only 2 episodes in. I think I've had some like stuff building up. And this feels good to let out. I basically feel like I have a panic attack or a heart attack coming on. So I think I am tapping out. That's Bert snoring. So I think I'm just gonna like lay on the floor with him for a bit. Let this pass. Son of a bitch. Alright, hi, good morning. It's Thursday. I have some tea steeping. Black tea, so I'm gonna have this instead of coffee today. Not that I'm trying to cut down on caffeine, but this feels more like a treat. It's a vanilla chai. And yes, I'm wearing the same sweater, but I changed all the underlayers and it just looked the coziest. I'm gonna do a quick mental health chat. I'll keep it short, but if you don't want to get into it, feel free to skip ahead. I'll put timestamps. I'm still like a little shaky this morning. I don't have very steady hands most of the time anyway, so like that's not really alarming to me. But I broke last night, like right after I finished recording. What happened? Oh, I had been watching Queer Eye, and there was an episode that like really hit home. A lot of it reminded me of stuff with my dad when he was sick. I think that's what set that off. But I've also had a lot building for like weeks now, and it's like the dam broke, and I spiraled into a full-blown panic attack so intense. I was feeling a pain in my chest I've never felt, but I don't think I felt before. It freaked me out. I'm sure that didn't help my anxiety levels, and I almost asked either my mother-in-law or my sister or my mom or my partner to bring me to the emergency room. I'm okay, just because I didn't know like what my body was doing. It was a lot, and I get really freaked out when like I felt like I didn't have control of anything, and it just went on for so long. The one flip side is that I slept spectacularly last night, and God, did I need that. Yeah, I have not been taking very good care of myself in a number of ways, and I'm just not gonna let myself be on my phone today. Like, I'll keep it nearby if someone needs to contact me, but I'm not gonna let myself do any social media-ing. I will let myself watch YouTube videos, but I'm gonna do that from my laptop just to like make sure I'm not getting into anything. And actually, I can check my text messages from my computer, so I think I will do that. I'll just keep it in here in case the ringer goes off, because I do have doctor's appointments coming up, and I think I will leave it at that. Or like checking my work email, like my business email and stuff like that. That is not the cause of the stress. So those types of things, I'll do a quick little check-in, but everything else I need to like pause all the apps, not let myself do it, because it's taken up a lot of my time, and also I can't function doing what I was doing, like spending so much of my day every day soaking my brain in stuff that, like, listen, none of us are meant to handle seeing that stuff, and I know it's a very privileged place for me to say, like, I need to take a break, but, like, I can't be doing this to myself. So I am still gonna work on putting these strips together, as I was saying yesterday and the day before. I feel like I've spent my whole week just trying to do these. It's super mindless, tedious, repetitive work, so I think that's what I need to be doing today, because I am not at full capacity today, clearly. And then no matter what I get done today, I am not going to let myself do any work. And actually, I can probably push the grocery shopping off until Saturday. So I might make a concerted effort to do that. I haven't taken a day off and I don't even know how long. Take care of yourselves. I know that is a big ask in the world these days, but breaking myself to the point of the state I was in last night is not helpful to anybody, least of all myself. So that is the check-in for today. That was probably a lot. So I'm gonna remove my tea bag from my tea. I promise I'm not gonna drink it with it in there. I have a liquid IV because I am even more dehydrated after last night. Thank you for hanging out here. I appreciate the company, and I know a lot of us are also often going through it. I also appreciate that, like, I can be vulnerable with y'all, and a lot of you understand where I'm coming from, and it's nice to not feel so alone. Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Happy Monday. I obviously took a few days off without filming anything. I did end up quilting all the fleece and then cut all of the pattern pieces out. Can you tell I haven't talked to anybody yet today? But speaking of, I'm about to use the 5 Calls website before I get into my work week. I'm about to do something that does give me a lot of anxiety. I don't love talking on the phone, but I'm gonna do just a quick couple calls to my Congress people and demand a ceasefire. Specifically for the House, there's a resolution number 786, and that is to call for an immediate de-escalation and ceasefire. For anybody that doesn't know, over 25,000 Palestinians have been killed, and obviously I'm not in support of that happening, so I gotta let them know how I feel about it. There is a website called 5calls.org, like the number 5, and then CALLS.org. I'll put it in the description, and it makes it super easy. Like, you don't even have to do all 5 calls. I'm going to be making 3 right now because this will quell the stress in my brain this morning. And this is the compromise I made with myself to, like, check out for a few days. I feel recuperated and that I have the bandwidth to do this again this morning. So let's go. I hate it so much.
How can I help you?
Hi, I was just calling to, I was just calling to urge Chris Pappas to support Resolution 786, which is for the de-escalation and ceasefire in Palestine.
Sure, let me get your message down.
Yeah. Specifically, like, I realized this morning that the more people have been killed there than even live in my town, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Can I just get you to confirm your phone number for me, please?
Yep.
And then can I get you to spell your first and last name, please?
Yep, it's...
And then can I just get your zip?
Yep, it's...
Okay, thank you so much. I will be sure to pass that message along to the congressman.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was 1:36. Okay, on to the next.
Senator Shaheen's office, how may I help you?
Hi, I was just calling to voice my concern for everything going over in Palestine and to urge Jean Shaheen to support an immediate de-escalation and ceasefire.
Yeah, of course. I'm more than happy to pass that along to the senator. Can I just have your name and what town you're calling from so I can let her know?
Of course, yeah. I'm from, saw the numbers of people killed in Palestine. It's more than the number of people that live in my entire town. And my name is...
Great. I will be sure to pass this along to the senator.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. Okay.
Thank you for calling Senator Hassan's office. How can I help you?
Hi, I was just calling to urge Senator Hassan to support a de-escalation and ceasefire in Palestine. I saw the death tolls this morning, and I'm from... There's more people that have been killed than like live in my entire town, so...
I can pass the message along to the senator. Can I also just get your name?
Of course, yeah, it's...
Okay, I'll pass the message along to the senator for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, bye. Less than 5 minutes. I hate it, but we got to do the thing. Okay, something I mentioned in each of those just to personalize it a little bit. I was mostly following the script, and it's like a paragraph. It's not as overwhelming as I used to think it was before. This was something I did more often. I still get really nervous right before I hit the button, but like they're there to hear me and pass messages along to the people I am a constituent of. Just putting it in the perspective that the entire population of the town I live in, more Palestinian human being lives have been lost in 3-ish months than the entire population of where I live. Because big numbers are hard for me to wrap my brain around, so looking at that perspective has been that much more eye-opening. So anyway, just thought I would use what little platform I have to share. One of the things I try to do on a regular basis, now I'm going to, maybe play music or have YouTube videos going in the background, but otherwise I'm not gonna engage anymore on social media today as much as I can, at least until I get the rest of my work done, because that is usually what destroys my brain. And I absolutely broke myself last week. I don't have a better term for it. So I'm glad I took the breaks that I needed. I didn't put any demands on my time. I only worked on stuff when I really felt like working on it. I actually ended up filming and editing and posting a video within like a 2-hour window on Friday, just because I was so excited to do that project. Then yeah, I cut my hair this morning because the ends were getting super fried. It starts to feel a bit like a koosh ball down the end, just because I only bleach my hair a couple times a year, and then I only wash it once a week, so that the curling and everything that I do to it, like it has some barriers against it, but my hair will still get absolutely wrecked. I did start using a new shampoo and conditioner. Oh, the bottle that I broke at the beginning of all of this. How was that a week ago? That genuinely winded me thinking about, wow, I love how it smells, especially the shampoo. It smells just like the lotion that I use from Shea Moisture. It's the one thing that doesn't make my skin feel like it's on fire after every shower. And I love the smell of it. I love when my clothes smell like it. Anyways, I didn't mean to carry this into this current week, but while we're here, I did do a ton of signage updates yesterday. I just felt like drawing on my laptop, and this was a good excuse to use my drawing program. It was mostly typing and then positioning things around the screen, but it's still very satisfying to put that stuff together. It was very time consuming making the individual price signs and then a price menu. And then I also made more mystery bag stickers because I'm gonna have some mystery totes added into the mix, and I was out of the mini bag, mystery bag stickers. Noodled around with the layout I'm gonna do. I really want to refine this a little bit, so I'm gonna reorganize basically the entire like bottom level of my display because it feels just a little cluttered, a little disjointed and everything. I want to give more room to the mini bag section so that like the dumpling pouches have a lot more space. I'm gonna have the dog bag holders and the keychain bags. I need to give it all more breathing room, or at least be like, this is the section for mini bags, and not have it be so overwhelming adding all the mystery stuff underneath it. So that was also good to kind of like mentally work through in my drawing program. And I decided to, at least for this weekend, not use my teal plaid tablecloth because I like it. It's close-ish to my like brand colors, which I would say are probably teal and black, maybe teal, black, and white. I'm not very like business savvy because all my stuff is so colorful. That is why I like having the black cube pieces and everything. And maybe I'll even bring my backdrop so that I can actually set it up. It always depends, like there's not always room behind me for such a thing. So the fabric I've had as my backdrop for the videos, it's gonna add a little zhuzh on top of my like plain black tablecloth because that's boring. It looks very flat. And I want to add something to it, but without adding like full-on color, because I was like, do I add my rainbow skull fabric? Do I add some of these other things? But I think it's not too much color. It kind of shimmers depending on which direction you're looking at it. So it looks purple from one direction and blue from the other. And I really like that. It has moons and stars on it. I think it'll be really nice to try out. It is very sheer material, and like, I'm just worried it's going to shred being underneath my grid cubes and everything, but we'll see how it goes. I have a skirt out of that fabric that has held up really well. I made a skirt for somebody else out of that fabric, and they work at a daycare and there are kids pulling on it all the time, and that has held up well. But obviously, like, the stuff I use for my display gets a lot of wear and tear on it, so I've been nervous about that, and that's why I haven't chosen it before. But if it gets destroyed or something, I have plenty of other, like, it's not so precious that I shouldn't be using it. You know, I'm trying not to do that thing where I'm like, no, that's the special fabric. I think it'll level up my display that little bit more. So anyways, that's the plan. Other than the Hell's Moving Castle custom orders, I have alterations night this week, and then it's the first of the month in a couple days. So I'm going to be packing up Patreon orders. Thank you everybody over there so much for all of your incredible support. Like, I get to take a few days to let my brain rest and my body rest when I have pushed it too far. And I so appreciate just everybody. I super appreciate each and every one of you. So, hey, thank you. Other than that, I'm going to try to do like a little bit of inventory stuff. These are the bags that I didn't finish for that last market. I just need to sew up the lining now that everything's flipped out. So they all have a gap on the inside like that. I'm gonna put that together. I really do not like this batting that I used in here, so I'm probably just gonna remove it from anything I sprayed it onto. However many weeks ago I did all that stuff, and just use fusible fleece or the SF101 woven interfacing that I have. I will try to film as much as possible at those markets because it's a Saturday and a Sunday. And then the following 2 Saturdays, I'm also going to be at mill number 5. So I will link below if you want to come to any of those events. And I will try to share the like at the thing type footage more, where I get really in my head and I'm always just really overwhelmed on those days. But it starts to kind of become routine after a while. So I don't need to be so freaked out about it. It's okay to take up a little space while I'm setting up. I'm not going to have my tripod or anything because that's a lot of floor space you're on. Set you up on top of my pack out or something like that, like I did with last studio vlog, and try to share at least some of what's going on and share updates throughout. As for me, I will see you back here with another video in 2 Fridays, unless I decide to do another mini video in the meantime, because that seems to be a thing, but I'm not going to push it. Only if I feel up to it and I have a specific idea I want to share. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. I've played too much cribbage to not know what 8 + 7 is. I'm on a tight deadline. Let's go! So should we take bets on how many times I'm going to turn on the electric kettle and then completely forget about it? This is why I need things with an automatic shut off. I can't be trusted.